All right. So part two, we just finished importing the second character called Gaunt. So if I open up the skeletal mesh, there's going to be a bunch of files here: textures, materials, skeleton, physics asset. Don't worry too much about it. It's just kind of a physics capsules per joint for the character. As you can see, it creates an asset for your default sizes. So, but don't worry too much about it. The mesh is here with all the materials on the left side. It seems everything came in nicely. And the skeleton file, by the way, you can either open it from here, or you can see here you have the skeletal mesh, you have the physics asset, and you have the skeletal mesh, right? So you can open them either by each file, or by here you can switch, because they're all connected to the same kind of ID. So skeleton here, you see the same skeleton in Motionbuilder, right? That's exactly the same skeleton. So we can import the animations as well now, just to have them ready. I always like to be organized a little bit. So I'm gonna create a folder called animes and just import Pepe's and Gaunt's animation. There's only one animation, if you remember when we exported, so we could just import both. So you right click on the folder, import, import to game animes, content lines. We can choose Gaunt anim. So in here, you don't need the skeletal mesh, so you can take that off. Actually, you don't need it. Okay. Import mesh. Sorry, this one. You don't need the mesh. You just need the animation was baked on the skeleton, so you just need the keyframes on the skeleton. So you just uncheck this, and in here, the skeleton, you should define which skeleton you want to link it to. But in this case, it's the Gaunt skeleton, Gaunt T-pose skeleton. Okay, so you choose this. So now this animation that you're importing is linked, and you click import. All right, so now if we open this up, you will see Gaunt animating and then getting it. Sorry, it's a little bit choppy because of my old PC. I will import Pepe's animation, Pepe anim. Same process. When you uncheck the mesh, it's unchecked again for you, so you don't have to worry about it. I have to open that up too. There we go. It's all good. Save. So now we have the environment. We have the meshes, and we have the anims. Okay, so we're ready to start building the sequence. Okay, so the way to do this, again, I'll create a folder called sequence. This way everything stays organized. Sequences. If you have more than one sequence, you can have multiple sequences here. So the way to put everything together is through this button here. So cinematic. So when you click on it, there's two options. So if you have multiple sequences in one, let's say in one layout or one environment, which is this, the dark city, I would choose this one. I'll show you what I mean. So the sequence would be sequence 1, master, and then inside the sequence you can have multiple shots. So you can have, you know, up to 100 shots per sequence. Where do you build the shots is inside each sequence. So a shot means a camera cut, basically. So for our case, we only have 2 shots. It's not super complicated, so you don't need to add the master sequence. You just need to add level sequence, okay, which is one sequence with 2 camera shots, okay. So you click on the add level sequence. You choose the folder sequence and you name it whatever you want to name it. New level sequence or sequence 1, 0, 1, whatever you want. Okay, so it creates this file here. So every time you want to open it, I have a tab sequence here. So if I close this and I open this, this is my kind of if you want to call the sequence tab, where you can add each track, add 2 camera tracks, character, and an enemy. Okay. So first thing, let's add the characters. Okay. You can add. Let me see. You can do a drag and drop, but I'll see if I can. I haven't tried actually to add actor to sequence. Can I choose Pepe? No, it doesn't show up. Yeah, we can just drag and drop. It's gonna be easier. So you go in the Pepe character, you choose the skeletal mesh, and you just drag and drop to the tab, and just drag it in this gray area. Okay, so now if you see here, I'll hide the environment. Okay. So now if you see here in the world outliner, it added Pepe. So Pepe now is here with the environment. Okay. So this is what's in your scene. So now Pepe is added in the scene. He doesn't have any animation, so he's T-posing because it's the bind pose. If you click add here, and it actually shows you the list that you have in the content folder, right? Whatever enemies you have. Let's say you had more than one, it will show you all of them. So I'm just going to choose this one because that's the only one we have. And now Pepe should be animating. Yeah, he has a few dead frames in the beginning for the camera to pan down, so that's why there's no animation in the beginning. But now he's animating. If you can see too, his feet are going through. That's because if you remember in part 1, when we created an empty scene, it came with a floor. So what we can do is we can just hide this floor. Okay. So now when you put the when you unhide the environment, he should be he should be flat. His feet are flat on the ground. That's why it was the floor that came with the template or the base scene. Okay. So that's it. That's all you have to do to bring in a character and animation. It's as easy as that. So I'm gonna do the same thing with Gaunt, skeletal mesh, drag and drop to the tab, and then over here, add, and choose Gaunt. The nice thing is when you click add, I'm gonna delete it. If you notice, it doesn't show Pepe because Pepe is not linked to this skeletal mesh, so that it only shows you the animations that are linked to Gaunt skeletal mesh. So it's a little bit easier to let's say you have hundreds of animations or tens of animations. It's a little easier to go through. Okay. Now it imports. Let me see if it lines up. I think it imports where your frame is. How do you zoom out? Oh, this one. I'm just gonna increase this. So here you have the frame range of the sequence. So the frame, let me see how many frames is this animation. It's about 252. So I'm just gonna put 252. Actually, yeah, it's okay. It's already zoomed out, but what I want to do is just extend this red line. So notice here there's a green line here, which is the start of your sequence, and there's a red line here. This is what it's going to use for playback. So if you click play, see, it stops on the red line. Okay. So what do? Is we just take this one and we put it to 252. So now if you press play, beyond that, it will play the rest up until 252. So if you notice, there's a little offset. So that's why because when we imported Gaunt's animation, here I'll show you again. When we import, if your frame is not on 0, 0, you click plus or add, it will import the animation on that frame. Okay, so you just need to either be on frame 0 or just drag backwards the clip. Okay, so now if you play, they should be all synced up. There you go, everything's synced up. Minus the lag, there's a bit of lag still. Okay, so we got the 2 characters, the 2 animations. Now we can add the cameras and then maybe tweak some of the lighting just to get some shadows or whatever. Okay, so we're missing the cameras. You create here, create new camera and set it as current camera cut. It's fine. So it creates 2 things basically. So I'm gonna minimize Gaunt and Pepe because we're pretty much done with them. That's weird, how come I don't see Pepe anymore? Okay, now I see. I just Looked like I lost the track. Okay, so yeah, when you click add or create camera, it creates two things. It creates a track called camera cuts. So this is the track where you can see which camera are you looking at. And this track is used to actually render out from Unreal. Let's say if you want to render if you want to render a movie, or you know, you do your lights and shadows and everything is looking nice, you want to render out an MOV or an AVI, that's where we render from this. The second track it created is the actual camera track. Okay, so this is where you can change the FOV, you can change the focal distance. I'm not gonna go too crazy with these. You can experiment with these, but basically this is where you add your camera animation that we exported from Motionbuilder. If you remember, we had two cameras, right, that we exported. We had the pan, this one, and then the side shot, right? See? And then this one. So we have these two cameras that we want to use in Unreal. Okay, so the only thing you have to do before importing the animation, and this is something that I struggled with, and I didn't know that I had to do this, is you have to name the camera in the track the same name as the camera coming from Motionbuilder. So the first cam is cam 1, cam space 1, is it? Or is it just cam 1? Cam space 1. And the second one is cam space 2. Okay? So the way to do this, if you see here in the outliner, it says Syn Camera Actor. Oops. Is it? This one, see? If you select it here, it's selected in the sequencer. So just rename this one to camera one, space 1. Okay? And then you click, see it now, it's named camera space 1 in here too. And what do? You right click on it, import, to import the camera that we exported. Desktop, Dawson, cam 1, polish 4 cam 1. And the only thing you need in here is match by name only. So now it's gonna match the name of the camera coming in to the name of the camera in Unreal. Okay, you don't need the other stuff. You already have a camera. You don't want to reduce the keys just in case it changes the position or rotation of the camera. Okay, and click import. So now if we roll back, this is the camera that we see in Motionbuilder. Okay, so one thing about this camera, in Motionbuilder we already set it to be 1280 by 720, but it doesn't transfer properly to, because if you look in Motionbuilder, let me see, save names. Yeah, this is what it's supposed to look like. It's kind of letterbox HD 1280 by 720. Okay, But if you look in Unreal, it looks like a 640 by 480 or a square. So the only thing you have to do to match the resolution that's coming from Motionbuilder is you select the cam, details, you'll have all the properties, right? So now you have Gaunt, now you have camera. In the details, you go down to, I believe, film back, and you choose 16:9 film ratio. Okay, so 16:9 film ratio is the, not 100% sure, so I'm gonna Google it. 16:9 film. Let's see what it is. There's a widescreen aspect with a width of 16 units. Okay, so this is the cinema. Yeah, for television, computer monitors, and the international stand for digital television HD. So it's the HD. So that's what it is. So that's the only thing you need to do. Obviously, there's more. There's a bunch of settings here that I'm not gonna go through. You can play around. There's motion blur too if you wanna play around with. It has a lot of settings. So feel free to experiment. But at least it's working. So now we need the second cam. I add another track, rename it to, oops, it's better to rename it like this, camera 2. Right click, import, camera 2, match by name only, import. I believe you have to, yeah, you have to do it again for the film back, the ratio, the resolution, basically. Okay. So now, see, now it's playing. Okay, one thing here I didn't mention is you see this little button here. By default, once you import or create a track, it shows you what that camera is looking at, basically. So if you try to pan, go up, and then move the screen, and move the time, it will lock back to the camera position and rotation. So if you just uncheck it, now you're free back into moving in the scene, even if you scrub through. So that's one way to see what the camera is looking. But ideally, what you want to see is the camera cuts, how this one is working with these two cameras, okay? Because this one is the combination of both. It's basically the camera cutting tool, okay? So we lock this one on. Right now, if you look at the strip here, it's only looking at camera 1. So the beginning is good, but then we don't see Gaunt because it's not choosing camera 2. Okay, so we just need to know in Motionbuilder at what frame do we cut. So we cut at frame 110. Okay, so we go to 110, and what do? Is we right click, change camera to 2. No, that didn't work. Is it we have to add? Yeah, let me see. 110. I think it's this one. New binding. Oh, okay, that's it. Okay, camera 2. Aha. So now, camera 1, camera 2, we press play. Let's see how it looks. A little choppy. Boom. That's it. It's cool, huh? Very good. All right, so now we have the characters, we have the cameras. If you want to add a fade in, fade out, you can easily do that here, or your favorite editing software. But it's really easy here. If you click on plus add track, plus track, fade track. So we'll actually put it right under the camera because it puts a fade. It's a global fade. It's not like per camera. But I mean, you can animate it the way you want. So right now, it's at 0, the value is 0 of the fade. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a way to change the track defaults. Oh, maybe. Fade color, there you go. So right now it's set to black. You can change it the way you want. It's so easy to find what you're looking for in Unreal. It's really cool. Okay, so if we put 1 here, everything is pitch black. Okay, oops. Be careful if you're sliding the slider. It might just slide the green one, which is the start of your sequence. So I just recommend clicking on whatever frame here to get the slider of the time range. So everything is pitch black now. So what do we want? We want like maybe 10 frames of, maybe 12 frames of fade in, okay? So what do? We go back to frame 0. We press this little thing here, if you see it, add the new key to the current time. So you're actually animating the fade in, fade out on the timeline, okay? So we go to frame, let's go 15. We put that to 0 and we key it again. So now you have these 2 keys. You can move these. If you're not happy with the fade, you can just move these 2 keys as well. So now what happens is fades in and fades out. And now we can do the same thing here. So the last frame is, I believe, how many frames are you got? 250. Okay, so I'll just put that down to 250. Yeah, it's actually this one. So just a side note, this is your start and this is your end. These two are, if you're familiar to Maya, is you can zoom in on a section of your sequence, right? If you really want to go in like and see the keys more close, or you want to see the thumbnails of each sequence. So you see I'm moving this bar and it's updating the frames here, okay? So it's similar to Maya or Motionbuilder, similar to this thing. It's amazing they did the same setup, okay? So it's the same idea. If you double click on it, it's gonna expand, so similar idea. What was I doing before? Okay, yeah, so I was setting the fade. So we want to go in here, about, put another key, and then go to the last frame. And what do? We can actually copy, like if you're lazy like me, you can just copy. You can copy the key and paste fade. Oh yeah, you're okay. Undo. Where's the undo? Edit. Oh, nothing happened anyway. I don't think anything happened anyway. So you have to go to the last frame, 252, and now you paste. Okay, so you have to be on the frame that you want to paste on. That's it. So see what it looks like. Beautiful. All right. So before I render, I just want to show you, let's see, I want to show you a little bit of the lights. You know, right now it's, you know, we're not taking full advantage of Unreal. First, because of my PC. Second, you know, my rendering is much nicer in Unreal. So I'll just show you a little bit of the lights. It's pretty straightforward. If you click on the FBX scene, the dark city, the environment, and you have all the lights underneath here. So if you click in the details, if you select the search and type lights, you have a bunch of lights here, right? Bump light. These came from Motionbuilder. So let's just maybe spend some time on these and try to get some shadows or maybe some different color here before we render, just to get a little bit of nicer render. Okay. Just want to see the feet. Maybe it's the next shot. Oh no, it's okay. I'll just go with this. Bump light, I'm not sure what that is. Right now it's set intensity to 0, so if we try to increase that, nah, it's too extreme. It's okay, let's keep it like that. We can probably change the color, which doesn't do that much. I'm just experimenting here. I'm not a lighting person whatsoever, but we can try a few things. If you want to cast the by default, I think the cast shadows is off. So let's see what it gives us if we turn around. Nothing. It's okay. Beast shadow light. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe it's casting the shadows on the environment. That one too is not changing much. I think we're gonna have better luck with this one. Cast shadow. New. Maybe this. Wow, nobody has. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm starting to get something here. Yeah, so this one is definitely changing the color a bit. Let's go to the second shot. It's a bit more dramatic. We still don't see any shadows. Or maybe we do. No, we do. We have something there. Okay. So let's play with these two then. Cast shadow. I just changed maybe the color here. This one. Maybe a little bit more red or something. No, doesn't look like it's going to change anything. Anyways, you can add your own lights as well in here. I just don't want to spend the whole tutorial on lights, and yeah, you can see the intensity. It's starting to show the color of the light itself. Anyway, if we increase the intensity on this, maybe change to blue. fish. Not bad. Then if this is bothering you, you can easily hide it. So if you select the cam, you type show here, no, display maybe, no, I think there is a setting somewhere you can hide it in the I'll try to find it. Focus, no. Camera mesh hidden in game, no, that's not it. I'm sure it's in here somewhere. I think you can, it's as easy as that. Just click on the eyeball and the world outline. So there's a bit of shadow there. It's not bad, soft shadows. I mean, again, you can probably see it here if the camera was panning down. Let me see if I can pan down. No, it's locked to this. Yeah, see, you can see the shadows here. I think if we move the light, yeah, it keeps your text selection. It's nice. I'm gonna try to move the light a little bit. There we go. Sorry, it's really choppy. I think because I changed the lights and I put the shadows on, it's going berserk. Nope, doesn't change that much. If we rotate these ones, no, doesn't change it. We might have to rebuild the lights. Build light only up, because sometimes it doesn't update automatically. Yeah, see, it doesn't change it. Nope. Can try one more, this one, but this one is pointing this way. I don't think it's going to change anything. Anyway, you get the idea. Just experiment with the lights. You can get a different effect. I'll show you how to render and just wrap this thing up. I don't want to wait too much of your time. So to render, select the track. This button here, rendered this movie to video. You could choose image sequences or just MOV or AVI and then compress it. I'm going to choose MOV. No audio. I don't have any audio. It's as easy as adding another audio track. It's really easy. Audio track right there. Yeah, 1280 by 720, 16 by 9. Compression, I'll just leave everything as is and see what happens. Here you can output the directory. I'll just put it on the desktop for now. Sequence 01. Oh, it's asking for okay. Select file format. I'm not sure what that is. File format. There it is. Let's capture. Save. 30 FPS. This is probably locked with the output format. Yep, it gives you a small render video. Might take a while. Ah, it's coming in. Don't worry about the format, the zoom. It's just rendering part of the scene. There you go. Open Capture folder and let's look at this thing. Yeah, you see shadows. Rendered with the little box. Yeah. Okay, so we can just delete the box. That's why. So let's just delete that thing because I think there's an option here to not render it. Value rendering visible. Just delete it, or either delete it or uh, in the rendering tab, visible, just uncheck it. Okay, it's okay. Let's render again. It's not gonna take that long. The name of the movie is the name of the level, which was by default called main. That's why it's called main. Yeah, we should have built the lights. You can kind of see a little bit of shadow there, but yeah, we should have rebuilt it. Let's see if it's gonna take some time if we rebuild the lights. It might take a while. Build lights. Okay, exporting light. Might take a while. Anyways, it's not a big deal. If you have a newer PC, probably would have been done by now. I'm gonna stop the video now. I hope you had fun with this. Let me know in the comments if you. I can probably send you the scene that I built in Motionbuilder and the other stuff if you're curious to, uh, you know, do something similar, or if you have any questions on the, again, these are the basics of building a sequence. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm not aware of probably, or I'll try to add on future videos into the same channel. All right, have fun, and you know,